Now, you're thinking about starting a video game club here at our
Yes.
at Our Lady of the Lake University. How'd you come to that idea? And can I get in that on that club too?
Of course, honestly, yeah.
Mi gente, mis saints, bienvenidos to another episode of Charla con Chávez, where we celebrate our amazing students, their creativity, their leadership, their passion, their inspiration here at Our Lady of the Lake University. Today's guest is a creative powerhouse. She's a filmmaker, screenwriter, actor, content creator, and an all-around storyteller. From New Jersey to San Antonio, she's been making moves both online and on campus. Please welcome Layla Pagan-Gonzalez. Layla, welcome to Charla con Chávez. How are you today?
Doing good.
Hey, so you transferred to Our Lady of the Lake University. You were out on the East Coast before we started the filming. You were talking about how the winters are a little bearable here in San Antonio. The summers, they're a little toasty.
Yeah. I've had a little bit of it's like back and forth. I have some heat tolerance, I have some cold tolerance because I've been all over the place. I grew up in Ohio, lived in Puerto Rico, I lived here for high school, was up in Jersey for college for a bit, and now I'm back, and so like I faced all kinds of elements.
Yeah. And well, thank you for saying yes to Our Lady of the Lake University. I really do appreciate you. Also, before camera, we were talking about how I met you before the first day of classes, and how you had already hit the ground running here on at the university. You're majoring in mass comm with an emphasis in digital film.
Yes.
What drew you to that major, and also what drew you to transfer to Olu?
So, first I actually just started this major. I was previously in creative writing. Since I was like in middle school, I had wanted to create stories, or like my parents say like I was always making up stories with like my toys and stuff. But when I was in middle school, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to be a writer. So at first, I indulged in that. I went. I studied up in New Jersey under creative writing, and then when I transferred here, I continued in that same place. However, I felt like I was stumbling a lot and kind of like trying to put a square peg in a round hole, and facing the same struggles both up in the East and here. So I was wondering, do I need a change? And I remember someone had like talked to me to consider communications. And so I decided, sure, I'll do a little bit of it. So I took oral communication and intro to acting this past semester, and I really enjoyed them, even more than my writing classes. And I spoke to my acting professor, shout out to Professor Winstead. And like I asked her, hey, I'm considering changing my major. Do you have any recommendations? And so she was like, I got you. Nice. And then she went boom, 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 listed a whole bunch of classes for this semester and next semester in mass comm, in film, and also in a minor in drama, because I'm in the theater club, shout out Spotlight. And we're basically like, I already have a plan for this semester and next semester. Class-wise.
Wow. So next semester being the fall semester.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So it's a walk in the park.
I mean, this past semester was a bit trial by fire. Because I did like a lot of things that I was basically throwing a lot of things on the wall until they stuck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, quite a few things fell off the wall before I reached that point. But I'm glad that I'm at least in a more confident position that I can be like, oh yeah, I'm much more comfortable with this major than I was previously, because I remember having these doubts in creative writing, and I was do I want to keep doing this? But I was like, no, we got to commit. But then I was like, it's either keep on struggling or try something new.
Yeah. And at what point did you come to that realization, this ain't working, Layla? you're gonna have to try something new?
It was this past semester where when I transferred, I thought that, new school, new environment. Back in Jersey, I was living on my own. I was rooming with some friends. I didn't really have any like close family. So I had a lot of friends. I had a support group, but it wasn't like familial based. So when I moved back here, I thought things would be different because I'm living with my mom, and my stepdad, and also means free rent. But I thought that would improve things a lot, especially because I have a little bit more familiarity with San Antonio.
Yeah.
But I felt myself going through the same struggles, making the same mistakes, and I'm like, oh, so if the change in school hasn't fixed things, what else is there that needs to change? And then I eventually reached the conclusion, oh, I got to change majors.
That's very mature of you. Yeah. And you also had a support network, right? I think faculty who supported you.
Yes.
Anyone else that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. While I have been seeing like a weekly therapist out like off campus, I did speak to the wellness center here for a bit, and they did help me. And also again, Professor Winstead really helped me get like a clear view on at least the plan for the next semester or two, because I was kind of like walking around aimless. I was like, what am I doing? Hello?
Yeah.
And so it was nice to have a little bit of like basically someone grab me by the head and then turning me
Kind
to
of
the right
direct you.
direction.
Yeah. Hey, so your creative resume is truly impressive. Layla, you're a screenwriter, director, actor, and even a content creator. Where did your love for storytelling begin?
I watched a lot of movies as a kid.
Okay.
Honestly,
Do you got to go
yeah.
to a movie that you watched?
That's a loaded question because I've watched a lot of movies,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's hard to pick one, but like at least so I'm not spending the next half hour thinking. A few like cult classics for me were obviously, I grew up on Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Lord of the Rings, like the OG live action Batman movies, things like that. A lot of things that both of my parents led me towards, and that really like, bright-eyed kid seeing all these incredible worlds, whether it's, set in the real world or in a galaxy far, far away, it like captivated me. And I was constantly obsessed with these stories, either watching movies or reading. I don't do as much now, and I'm actually trying to course correct, but I used to inhale books. I was the kid. I was basically the embodiment of Peter Parker without the spider powers. I was the kid who would get in trouble for reading Percy Jackson during a lecture.
Okay.
So-
Wow. And so was that the root of the storytelling genius that you have?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And okay, so you don't read for leisure, but you read for your coursework though.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. I have to.
I know you do.
Yeah, I will literally just like be like, all right, I'm not leaving this chair until I finish this chapter. And then I stay there no matter how long it takes. It does take me a while, but I still get it done, thankfully.
There you go. And so you're working on your own screenplay right now.
Yes, I'm taking a screenwriting course,
Okay.
also under Professor Winstead, and that's the current project, writing a screenplay, and it's been a bit of an experience because I've been writing prose, which is like writing for like books and stuff, since I was in middle school in that sort of format. Screenplay writing is a little different, like
How
a lot.
so?
So a lot of like literary language. Oh man, it's like I don't know exactly how to describe it, but basically, you for a screenplay, you have to get to the point with setting the scene. You have to be like, it doesn't have to be like, no pretty language,
Okay.
basically. It's not very pretty or descriptive. It's simple and straight to the point. It's like,
Okay.
oh, new character. What's their age,
Huh.
their gender, their physical appearance, their
Okay.
clothing, and what are they doing? And it's always like present language.
Okay.
Meanwhile, book writing is usually like passive past tense
Hmm.
stuff. And so that's been a huge like shift for me because it's like, oh God, I have to change a lot of what I'm used to. But while it has been an uphill battle, it's still been a really fun experience.
Mm-hmm. And so how does that fit into the video game content that you started also
Mm-hmm.
creating at
Yeah.
age 14? Is that
Yep.
is that also a more of a shift?
I mean, a little bit. Yeah, I've been really into like just storytelling as a medium in general,
Okay.
whether it's movies, shows, books, and video games. Like I've always been fascinated by how in depth you can tell a story through a video game, especially like part of it is that interactiveness because it
Mm.
means like, oh, you get to like be a part of the story to some degree. Um,
Mm.
but regardless, I always find it fascinating and how I really enjoy some of these stories that take advantage of the medium that they're in, whether it's like a video game take advantage of the interactive aspect or even
Okay.
like music. Like
Yeah.
songs always have something to tell, whether it's something silly or something deep, and the ones that really take advantage of that are like they always leave me speechless and I'm like, hold on, whoa, 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 pause.
Huh.
I'm gonna have to run
Oh.
that back. Run that back. I gotta listen to that a few
Okay.
5 times.
Yeah. And is there a song recently that you heard that had that effect on you?
Um, let's see. I probably not song, but definitely artist.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I'm one of those people who fell down the Kendrick Lamar rabbit hole after a Super Bowl performance.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? I've heard like a lot about him recently. And so I'm finally gonna start listening to some of his music because it's really good stuff. And so
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
went down the rabbit hole listening to a lot of his stuff, and then I was like, whoa, this is insane. And Kendrick Lamar won a Pulitzer Prize for writing songs. So
Mm.
that should tell you all you
Mm-hmm.
need to know on how
Mm-hmm.
well his craft
Mm-hmm.
is. So
Mm-hmm.
that's an artist that I've been listening to a lot recently.
So you're a creative. You clearly have a creative brain. If you were to have Kendrick Lamar in front of you, right, might you have a question regarding his creative process that you would
Um
want to ask him?
oh my god. Yeah, probably. Yeah, oh man, that is whew. I'd probably spend like half an hour both trying to think of a question like a good question because obviously it's like like you only get this chance and who knows when you
Yeah.
get this opportunity again, so it's like you want this question to be good but also just trying to calm yourself down because it's like what do you mean I have the opportunity to talk to him. But yeah,
Right.
that would be crazy if that were to happen, but I guess
Because I do
yeah,
have
it's
a
a lot.
question for you regarding your creative process,
Okay.
Layla, right? You have an
Mm-hmm.
idea, right? Perhaps you have a screenplay that you've been assigned or that you want
Mm-hmm.
to write. Where do you start with the idea? Where do you seek out inspiration? And then
Mm-hmm.
what are your subsequent steps?
So that is a good question. Usually for me, starting is always the hardest thing.
Okay.
It is always the hardest thing, and it's like,
That blank sheet of
especially
paper.
exactly,
Yeah.
blank sheet of paper, blank document, all of that.
Yeah.
It's always starting that's the hardest part because sometimes you don't know where to start or what to do. Like if
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes I struggle with having too many options
Yeah.
or just like not basically like if I have some sort of like restriction or just like only a few options
Mm-hmm.
in place, that can help me narrow things down.
Okay.
So while it is very difficult for me to start, as long as I try to put myself in that mindset
Okay.
of just focus and let your mind wander. And sometimes I will start with only the beginning in mind.
Okay.
And be like, I'll try to see what I can come up with from there. And even if I just have like a very basic bare bones, like a single string of like 2 or 3 events from beginning to end, then usually I'll start being able to
Okay.
fill the blanks as I go.
Okay. And how do you filter down from a lot of ideas down to a smaller set of ideas?
Definitely trying to keep in mind, especially with like screenwriting, got to keep in mind pacing and
Hmm.
length, because
Hmm.
the way that screenplays are formatted, it's a very interesting format where the one page on a screenplay usually equates to 1 minute of
Okay.
screen time.
Okay.
So on average, screenplays can be 90 to 120 pages, which
Okay.
yes means I'm writing that many pages.
Wow.
But thankfully it's not like writing that many pages as like an essay. That would be,
A
oh
lot of
God.
words.
Oh God. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, so that, like, taking that into account, I've had like some hesitations on some like story ideas where it's like,
Mhm.
do I have the time for this? But then I start writing and I'm like, oh, this is gonna take a while. I think I can put in a little more, a little more.
Okay.
And then it keeps going. It's like, okay, we can add a little more. And also
Yeah.
sometimes it's looking for what the
Yeah.
story needs, whether it's
Yeah.
like a character or a plot point that I feel needs more attention. I will try to elaborate on that more.
Okay.
That way it's not like super, like the characters or the storyline isn't one dimensional.
Okay. And when do you know when something is done?
I have many,
Is
many.
it the professor's deadline?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, pretty much in a way. Because unfortunately I struggle with like basically I have many unfinished projects right now.
Mm,
A lot of things on hiatus, a lot of things I haven't touched in years. But so I don't really have a definitive answer.
yeah.
But yeah, I at least try to have some sort of end point
Okay.
in mind.
Okay. Now, look, something that I struggle with, or perhaps fight myself with, is that self-talk. The
Hmm.
self-talk of it ain't good enough. No, it's not done.
Hmm.
Do you have a process for for perhaps quieting down that self-talk?
I've been trying to, because yeah, I've literally I've legitimately had this be part of a thing with, like, when I'm in therapy, is that having a perfectionist complex where it's even affected
Oh
my
my gosh.
schoolwork,
Yeah.
where it's where it's like if I can't do something good right away, or like good, great, or just pretty good, all right, then I don't want to do it at all.
Mm.
But like specifically with schoolwork, even though it's low, a 50 is always better than a 0. So I can make an unfinished or poorly written essay or whatever. It's better than no essay at all.
Mm.
And with writing and stuff like that, I try to remind myself every now and then that I'm still inexperienced. While I
Mm-hmm.
have, like while I have been making YouTube videos
Mm-hmm.
and content creation in general since I
Mm.
was in freshman in high school,
Mm.
it's not been consistent.
Mm.
So if
Okay.
you look up my YouTube channels, you're not going to find 8 years worth of content, unfortunately, unfortunately. But so I try to remind myself that I still have a lot more to learn, and a lot of that is trial by fire.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I'm at the point where it's like I don't have any sort of platform where I need to write, film, act, or whatever for money, for
Mm.
other people's approval to get some sort of monetary value.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've done recently has been, if I'm writing for a story and I'm wondering, oh, are people gonna like this? Is like, write for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I like
I've
that.
written, like, I'm working on like, fan fiction projects and stuff like that based off of my favorite video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, because it's like the fan bases can be a little toxic on the internet, to say the least.
Mm.
And so I'm just wondering, oh my God, is the internet gonna flame me for this? Am I gonna get hate? But it's
Mm.
like, I don't owe them anything.
Mm.
So if I should be writing for anyone specifically, it should be for myself. And that's kind of the reference that I'm trying to keep, where it's like, if I think something's a good idea, sometimes I would like a second opinion just to be like, does this sound like a good idea, or is this really dumb or silly? I don't ask strangers for advice. I usually talk to my friends and be like, hey, I had this idea. Most of the time, they will actually be very impressed, and I will be like, oh, wow, I did not realize I found gold with this story idea, but hey, all the more reason to run with it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and that same philosophy, Rick Rubin talks a lot about that same philosophy, right? Doing it for yourself. And shipping it or putting it out into the world when you think it's done. Now you're thinking about starting a video game club here at our at Our Lady of the Lake University. How'd you come to that idea? And can I get in that on that club too?
Of course, honestly, yeah. The main reason was just because at my previous school, there was a gaming club, and it had multiple parts to it. Like, we had multiple what were called sectors. So there was one for like Smash Bros. And Mario Kart. There was stuff for competitive games that actually led to our own separate esports division. There was one for Dungeons and Dragons, one for Pokemon, and so it was essentially 6 clubs all in a trench coat. But because of that, we were able to get like a lot of members. So as far as I recall, we were the largest organization by member count, even more than like the sports groups or even the sororities or fraternities at the university. And like, most of my friends that I made there were thanks to that club. A lot of people that if they were down on their luck, I'd give them the clothes on my back. And I'd be there for them, even when I'm 1,000 miles away from them right now. And it was thanks to that club. And I'm part of the Alliance Club. I'm part of the Spotlight Club here. And so I have been able to make friends here, and that's been really cool. But it's like, I need more nerd friends. I need more people I can talk about Sonic the Hedgehog or Minecraft with.
Hey, so tell me about how the Spotlight Club and Alliance Club have helped you and find your path here at Our Lady of the Lake University. This is your second semester, Layla, and it's my understanding that both of these clubs have been so integral to you.
Yes. Alliance Club, obviously, because, well, I'm of the community. I'm of the LGBT plus community. Quick aside, that's actually part of why I decided to come here to Our Lady of the Lake, because I remember I was very hesitant for obvious reasons when I was moving, and my mom invited me to come check out the campus back in June, and so I did, and I saw like all the, it was June, so it was Pride Month, and seeing all the like inclusive, like all the pride flags and all this inclusive stuff, a whole set piece at the library as well. It blew my mind. I was like, they didn't even have that at my old university. They didn't have anything like that. We had a pride club, but it was like, basically we were just able to exist, and that was kind of it. And so seeing like I legitimately felt welcomed, and that legitimately a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, and that essentially was like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go here. So finding out that there's an Alliance Club here was really relieving as well, to find more members of my community. And so that was really nice. And then with Spotlight, I'd always wanted to get more involved in theater. My participation had been kind of lacking. I participated in the 6th grade play in my elementary school, but like everyone was a participant one way or another. I did get to act. That was fun. But middle school and high school, I tried a few things here and there, and it was, I wasn't able to do much. I do remember back in high school, I was in a production of Legally Blonde, and then COVID happened, and so it got canceled. And then it was like, all right, we'll do it like a year or two later. And I'm like, but I'll be in college by then. So
Okay.
yeah, I missed my shot. And there was a theater club at my old university, and I tried a few times, and my participation was minimal at best. So I was like, well, dang. But when I saw that there was a theater club here, I'm like, all right, not missing this opportunity.
Nice.
And so I participated in many a performance here.
Nice. And so you've found your various communities at our university, small university, 2,000 students. Thank you for saying yes to us.
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot. Now, I understand you might have some questions for me too.
Well, we've been talking a lot about like creative stuff, entertainment, and so I'm curious, what are some of your favorite like books, movies, video games, things like that?
Oh, video games. Of course, Super Mario Brothers is always a classic. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh my God, I remember.
Man, if I could get my hands on an old Nintendo
Oh yeah.
again, that would be fun.
Mm.
So, video games, yeah. So the old school stuff. I grew up with Nintendo and Atari.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Asteroids, I think, was one of the games on Atari that I used to play. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So I did beat that game.
Oh God.
I did.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with how incredibly difficult that. I mean, a lot of NES games were very difficult, but like that one especially.
Yeah.
Like respect on
Oh
that.
yeah.
That is
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Now, could I do that again? Probably not. I probably don't have the time required to beat the game. But books, Layla, gosh, I read an array of books. Anything that questions my assumptions on life um, uh, is something that I go to, and also books that help me just be a better person. So I'm rereading for the nth time Marcus Aurelius's Meditations again. That's such a thick reading where I read a section of the book and I have to put pause on that book.
It's like what did I just see?
Exactly. Right. And in terms of just my creative endeavors, I love to write. I don't write as much as my heart really wishes. So I'm thirsty for writing. And my writing goes, I just ask big questions that help me, have a better understanding of the world, and hopefully, I get people to think. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that any sort of real like entertainment, especially writing, that makes you like sit there and think about like what message they're trying to say or a question they're asking
Yeah.
is like the most effective type of
Yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's part of my creative endeavors, and of course, I love to binge watch on Friday afternoon evenings. Yeah. So yeah.
So then in that case, what's the binge for tonight?
Well, my wife and I were watching White Lotus, third season of that. However, those episodes are dropped weekly.
Oh, okay. So you have.
So we have a couple episodes in the queue. So I don't think that's binge watching, right?
Yeah. I was like, wait, weekly? That means it's like one or two episodes and then over. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any backups?
I'm sure she has backups. Okay. Yeah. I defer that to her. Yeah.
I have a lot of shows that I want to watch that I've
Okay.
been trying to catch up on and
All
stuff,
right.
but it's like whether it be schoolwork or binge watching my favorite YouTube channels, I've been lacking in that.
Right. Any other questions for me? I got some fun questions for you, a lightning round.
Okay.
Favorite anime series of all time?
It's a tie between JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Attack on Titan.
All right. Your dream director to collaborate with?
Probably Steven Spielberg.
Okay. Favorite video game character? Not trying to start up any debate here.
No, it's fine. Probably Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay. All right. That's a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun one. That's one that I've played a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. While I do enjoy the games, the character, like, he's kind of like, Spider-Man or Superman, where it's like beacons of positivity.
Yeah.
And it's like there's like a legitimate inspiration to like improve yourself. And so and also blue's my favorite color, so I'm a little biased.
Okay. All right. Layla, your passion for storytelling, for film, the creative process, thank you for going on that journey with me too in this conversation is truly inspiring. Thank you for being at Our Lady of the Lake University. Of course, and continue your great work. I see you out in the cafe quite a bit. Let's have lunch sometime soon.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Thank you. And as a token of my appreciation, I have some official Charla con Chávez merch for you. I have a Charla con Chávez hat and a t-shirt, a Charla con Chávez t-shirt. And
nice.
That water mug or coffee mug or chocolate mug is for you.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.